My dear students, today I'm going to teach you a lesson from your supplementary reader, Vistas. And the lesson's name is The Tiger King, and the author is Kalki. I'll tell you a little about the author. Kalki, obviously, when you hear the name, you realize that it sounds like a pen name given to a writer, a name by which a writer writes whatever that he writes. So the author Kalki's name, the real name was Ramaswamy Krishnamurti, and he was better known by his pen name Kalki. He was obviously an Indian writer, journalist, poet, critic, and an Indian independence activist. His writings include over 120 short stories, 10 novellas, 5 novels, 3 historical romances, editorial and political writings, and hundreds of films and music reviews. So, this is about the author, children, that I told you, and I'm going to continue the explanation of the lesson, The Tiger King. I'll read the whole lesson to you and explain it to you line by line. Okay, so let's just begin. The Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram is the hero of the story. He may be identified as His Highness Jamidar General Kiledar Major Satavyagra Samahari Maharaja Dhiraj Vishwa Bhuvan Samrat Sir Jilani Jang Jang Bahadur MAD ACTC or CRCK, but this name is often shortened to the Tiger King. Now, this king had so many names and then such long names, and there were certain short forms also which people used to call him, but all of these names, all of these were shortened to one single name as the Tiger King. I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as Tiger King. So the writer is saying, the narrator is saying that I am going to tell you now why, what is the reason that instead of calling all those names, people chose to call this king as the Tiger King. I have no intention of pretending to advance only to end in a strategic withdrawal. Now, this line here means that the author says, "I have no intention. I just don't. I have no intention of pretending to advance only to the end in a strategic withdrawal." Means I am not going to finish the story quickly. I am going to tell you a detailed explanation of what happened, why he came to be known as the Tiger King. Even the threat of Stuka bomber will not throw me off track. The Stuka, if it likes, can beat a hasty retreat from my story. Now, Stuka bomber, obviously, all these missiles and all. So he says nothing, even a thing as a missile, as a bomber, is not going to stop me from explaining the whole story in detail. So he says the Stuka, if it likes, can beat a hasty retreat from my story. Means it can quickly just leave. If anything or anyone is trying to stop me from explaining the story in detail, can quickly take a hasty retreat, beat a hasty retreat, just go back, go away from me. Right at the start, it is imperative to disclose a matter of vital importance about the Tiger King. Imperative, very important. So he says, in the beginning only, it is very important to let you people know something, a matter of vital importance, something that is extremely important about the Tiger King. So he says, I have to tell you something very important that you all must know about the Tiger King. Everyone who reads of him will experience the natural desire to meet a man of his indomitable courage face to face. Indomitable, that nothing can suppress and no one can beat. So he says that whoever reads about Tiger King will very naturally want to know him, want to meet him face to face because of the courage that he had. But the writer says there is no chance of its fulfillment. Now, even if someone wishes to meet him, it's not possible. And why is it not possible? We'll see. So he says that even if someone wishes to meet him, he will not be able to meet him because he is not there. Now let us see how. As Bharat said to Ram about Dasharath, the Tiger King has reached that final abode of all living creatures. What is the final abode? Final is the last, abode is where one lives. So, the last place where one goes, all living creatures go. So, where do people go? In the hands of death. In other words, the Tiger King is dead. So he is giving the example of Bharat and Ram and Dasharath, who are the characters of Ramayana. So the manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary interest. Why extraordinary interest? We'll find out. So he says, the writer is saying that how the Tiger King died is a matter of great interest, extraordinary interest. It can be revealed only at the end of the tale. So he says that I cannot tell you right now how he died, because that is the crux of the story that makes the story so appealing and so interesting. So he says that it can be revealed only at the end of the tale. The most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon as he was born, astrologers had foretold that one day the Tiger King would actually have to die. Now, the most fantastic aspect, just pay attention to these words here, fantastic aspect of his demise, and astrologers foretold that one day he would actually die. Now, this is a satire. The writer is making fun. It's a satire here that what is there to tell about someone's death? Whoever, we are not immortal, we are all mortal beings. We die. So, whoever takes birth has to die someday. So, it was revealed. Sorry, the most fantastic aspect of his demise means death, was that as soon as he was born, astrologers had foretold, had made a prophecy that one day the Tiger King would actually have to die, as if the Tiger King was born to never die. The child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, champion of champions. But they bit their lips and swallowed hard. Now, when a child is born, astrologers are consulted to find out how the life of the child is going to be. Now, this is the matter of a prince. Now, here, this is a royal child that is born. So, obviously, many astrologers have come to read about the stars and everything. Now, they are telling everyone in the court that this child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors. He will be a great warrior, hero of heroes, champion of champions. But after all these praises, there is a but. And when but comes, it's obvious that there is something bad about it. That there is something that they don't have the courage to tell. So they bit their lips and swallowed hard. They were nervous. Obviously, if they're going to tell something bad about a royal child, they'd be scared. They wouldn't want to say it. When compelled to continue, the astrologers came out with it. Compelled, when they were forced, when the astrologers were forced to tell, to continue, the astrologers came out with it. Came out with it means they told. This is a secret which should not be revealed at all. And yet, we are forced to speak out. The child born under this star will one day have to meet its death. Wow. See how the astrologers are saying that it is a secret, that one day this boy, this little baby that is born will have to die. Isn't it a funny thing, as if someone is born to never die. At that very moment, a great miracle took place. An astonishing phrase emerged from the lips of the 10-day-old Jilani Jung Bahadur. O wise prophets! Everyone stood transfixed in stupefaction. They looked wildly at each other and blinked. O wise prophets! It was I who spoke. This time there were no grounds for doubt. So, at that very moment, a great miracle took place. As soon as the astrologers told the people in the royal court that this child will one day die, something miraculous happened, something magical happened, something which is not normal happened. An astonishing means a surprising phrase emerged from the lips of the 10-day-old Jilani Jung Bahadur. He was just a 10-day-old baby, infant, and he said a phrase. Phrase is a line. O wise prophets! So everyone stood transfixed. Transfixed means fixed to where you are standing, in stupefaction. Stupefaction and great surprise. So they looked wildly at each other. They looked here and there at each other, and they were blinking in total shock and surprise. Then again the sound came, O wise prophets, it was I who spoke. This time, when they heard the little boy actually rephrase the whole thing with the addition of it was I who spoke, there were no grounds left for doubt. No grounds left for doubt means it was absolutely clear that it was this little infant that was speaking. It was the infant born just 10 days ago who had enunciated the words so clearly. The chief astrologer took off his spectacles and gazed intently at the baby. It was the infant born just 10 days ago who had enunciated. Enunciated means spoken the words so clearly. And then the chief astrologer, he took off his spectacles and looked for a long time. Gazed intently means looked for a long time at the baby. All those who are born will one day have to die. We don't need your predictions to know that. There would be some sense in it if you could tell us the manner of that death. The royal infant uttered these words in his little squeaky voice. Squeaky voice is the squeaky, the very thin voice that an infant would have. But look at the kind of thing that this infant is saying. What an intelligent thing. This obviously shows that this Tiger King was a very, very intelligent man. All those, he says to the astrologers, as the astrologer is intently looking at him, that all those who are born will one day have to die. Now, we don't need predictions like that. We don't need you to tell us that someone who is born has to die someday. It would make your predictions would make sense if you were able to tell me how I would die, the manner of my death, how I am going to die.